Hi guys, my name is Abidemi Tolulope. Welcome to another episode of my love story series. On today's episode, we'll be having questions and answers, and these questions are based on the previous topics that we've discussed on my love story series. I won't be answering the question by myself. We have a guest here who will be introducing himself. Yes, I've just given you guys a hint. He'll be doing the introduction himself. So let's welcome our guest. So, guys, let's welcome our guest for today. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Hello, friends. My name is Adejumobi Michael, President, Strong Force International. It's a privilege to be here today.
Thank you very much, sir. So, guys, remember we've talked about healing from past hurts, we've talked about trust, commitment, and communication. So, we're going to be bringing questions from those topics that we've talked about. Our very first question goes thus: how do I heal from the guilt of an abortion as a man?
Thank you very much for that question. That's a very, very sensitive question. Healing takes a process. Healing is a process. Now, abortion is a very, very grievous offense, not just to humanity, but of course to God. So the first thing you should do or know is that such a man needs to forgive himself.
Okay.
Such a man needs to forgive himself. Until you let go of hurts, you don't make progress in life. So healing takes a process. Number one, forgive yourself. After that, determine and be conscious enough to know that such a thing should not happen again. And of course, if you have access to this lady or woman in question, you should be able to reach out to let her know how much remorse you feel for the offense. But it's important to forgive yourself. There's something called emotional housekeeping. That's how that you clear your heart, your soul, your mind of every debt and past. So if you forgive yourself, with time, a process, with time as a process, you're going to heal from the guilt of abortion.
Thank you very much, sir. So, moving on to the next question. It says, is it possible for you to love a person and yet not trust them?
Love and trust. It depends on the definition of love
Okay.
for a person. Now, love is an embodiment of everything. In love, you find trust. But then you can love and not trust. Like I said, it depends on what the definition of love is to a person.
Okay.
So then, if such a person sees love as an entirety or an embodiment of every factor involved, then you should, before you love, trust must be there, because trust is a foundation for love. But then if love to you seem to be just one of those things you confuse for admiration or just emotional feelings, then of course you can love without trusting. And trust, I must say here, is divine. Trust is something we use for God. You can believe in a partner and then you see the result of love. That's why the Bible talks about trust in the Lord only. The Bible says, do not trust in the arm of flesh. But as in context of love, of course, you should trust before you love. So it is possible to love and trust, and it's also possible to love and not trust. It depends on what love is to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, the final question says, what is the most important foundation of any relationship?
Uh, Thank you for that question. The word foundation to me seems to look like the pillars that hold a relationship.
Next one.
So if you say what is the most important foundation, I will say, of course, God. If you build your relationship on the pillars of truth, sincerity, faith, trust, love, under the umbrella of God, then it's the most important foundation. But because it's a relationship, and if the goal is marriage, then of course love is a very important foundation. In God you find love. Now God is love, but love is not God. When God becomes love to you, then you get the true definition of love. But when you think love is God, it's a confusion, it's heresy. It begins to look like something as though you find admiration in somebody, emotional feelings, yet there's no true love. That's why you need to understand the difference between being attracted to a person and being in love. For us, in our own kingdom anyway, you grow in love. You don't just fall in love. So growth takes a process. That's why I would say the foundation for every relationship should be love. because the true test of that relationship is in place of sacrifice. When sacrifice becomes the factor that determines the definition of love, then you will know that love of a truth is the most important foundation for every relationship.
So, guys, thank you very much, Mr. Omooba, for answering those questions. So, guys, we've come to the end of today's episode of my love story series. I know you still have a lot of questions to ask, and sincerely, we're willing to answer every one of those questions. So, we want you to send in your questions via the comment section. Click the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you very much for watching this particular episode. It's a pleasure to bring you this gist. My name is still Abidemi Tolulope, and our guest is.
Adejumobi Michael.
Thank you very much. Bye.